Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining today's training, Business at the Speed of AI, Brainstorming and Strategizing. I'm Rebecca Chauncey, Interim Director of the Illinois Small Business Development Center, or SBDC at Bill Bronzeville. This training is brought to you at no cost because it's funded in part through a cooperative agreement with the United States Small Business Administration, or the USSBA, the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, and locally by Urban Juncture Foundation. Just a housekeeping note that any questions today should be typed in the Q&A section, which you'll see if you hover over the bottom of your screen. And if relevant in the moment, I will address the question. And there's also time for Q&A at the end of today's session. So let's talk about today's focus. For those of you that attended or watched the last, which was our first training in the series, Business at the Speed of AI, this is the second training in the series, and we're focusing on a few things today. First, important definitions. It's important to be clear about some terms. You may be aware of some of them, but I just like everyone to start at the same level in terms of understanding. And then secondly, I will share some tools for your consideration as it's related to brainstorming and strategizing using AI. And then there is a helpful checklist, which I sent to all of the registrants, all of you, before the training started. So you could reference that during the session as well as after. And then, as I said, there will be time for Q&A. So let's start with some definitions. Again, if you in particular join the first training in this series, Business at the Speed of AI, you will recall a couple of these definitions. But again, I think it's worth emphasizing so we're all on the same page. Remember, intelligence, or AI, is essentially computer programs that complete cognitive tasks typically associated with human intelligence. And when we talk about an AI tool, that's an AI-powered software that can automate or assist users with a variety of tasks. An example of that is ChatGPT. Also note human in the loop approach. This is very, I would say, important. Not that the other definitions aren't, but this is a great point to keep in mind as far as the human in the loop approach is concerned, which is the combination of machine and human intelligence to train, use, verify, and refine AI models. You see that I verify is in bold because it's important that you keep that in mind. You, as the human, have the ability to verify what you receive, the outputs that you receive when you get insight from different AI tools. And then lastly, prompt engineering. That's the process of designing input instructions in an AI model, right? That could be, for example, ChatGPT, to get the most relevant results or outputs. Any questions about those definitions? All right. A couple of other points to keep in mind as we think of prompt engineering, that last term I shared. Good prompts. Keep this in mind. To save time, save or screenshot your successful prompts. We're going to go through what that looks like in a moment as far as what those prompts, what prompts you may consider creating. You can create templates for successful prompts so that you can edit slightly each time, instead of having to think about, oh, what did I do in order to receive all of the information or the outputs the last time I used, well, again, for example, we'll say ChatGPT. Well, by saving your successful prompts in, either a You could use Word or whatever other note-taking tools you may use that you could easily reference so that you can copy those prompts should you need them in the future. And also note that prompts can sometimes be sensitive to small changes and may produce different results for the same prompt on repeated attempts. Yet it's okay to run a prompt multiple times because you'll get different responses, right? We'll see what that looks like momentarily. So, as we highlighted today, right, today's session is indeed business at the speed of AI, brainstorming, and strategizing. So, we've got to put this to work, right? You as the busy entrepreneur certainly can use AI powered tools to develop a variety of ideas to enhance your business. And consider using ChatGPT and Claude. We're going to specifically emphasize and practice use of these two AI tools. No, just as you might realize by other online platforms and tools, there are paid and free versions. The paid versions tend to provide more information or access than the free version. Today, I'll be showing you examples of how you can brainstorm for your business using a paid version of ChatGPT and then a free version of Claude. So you'll get a sense of what that might look like. And then you also may have some other examples of what, as a matter of fact, if just a reminder, if you have any questions, remember to type them in the Q&A section and I will respond to them in real time, or I'll also, there will be time rather at the end of the session for Q&A. So let's start with the first, we're going to start with the first prompt. A number of our clients are in the food and beverage industry. And so I thought it would be great to start with, we're going to start with seeing what ChatGPT does in this example, right? So this is the first prompt that we're using. And you see here where I've noted act as a restaurant business owner and list ways to generate $100,000 in revenue in 3 months. Let's see what ChatGPT shows. And it doesn't take very long, which is what can be beneficial for you as the busy entrepreneur, right? You can save some time and giving it a moment to think of some potential ways that you will consider updating or generating revenue in your business. So let's see. Although it is interestingly moving a little slower than it normally does. I'm thinking this has to do potentially with my internet connection, but let's see here. Should be okay. Thank you for your patience. Let's try this again. We're trying it again. There we go. All right. This is how fast it should be, right? So look at as you see the output, right? What this is the prompt, right? That's our prompt. And then the output of that is what you receive here. You see that it notes as a restaurant business owner aiming to generate $100,000 in revenue over 3 months. And they show you roughly $33,333 per month or $1,111 per day. And so it lists a strategic breakdown of ways to hit that target using multiple income streams and promotional tactics. So take a look at those. You've got core revenue streams, which first they have boost dine-in sales, and they have some examples there. Like in the interest of time, I won't go through every single thing, but I just want you to get a sense of what you may see. And we're going to compare each of these prompts that I'm going to share with you today that we're going to practice with on these two AI tools. Again, ChatGPT and Claude. We're going to look at the differences between them. So again, it has boost dine-in sales. The second thing it's recommending is that the restaurant owner optimizes takeout and delivery. Third, catering and events. And then when one considers revenue generating initiatives, it lists sell branded products as one option, such as bottle and sell your sauces, dressings, or spice blends. Fifth, hosted ticketed events, right? There may be, if the restaurant sells alcohol, for example, there could be those tastings with prefix meals or themed dinners. It also notes subscription meal plans. When it comes to marketing and promotions, it's listing or suggesting that you have loyalty and referral programs. You could partner with local influencers, consider corporate partnerships. And then it even gives you a breakdown, as you can see, if the average check, right, for the customer is $25, then you need about 1,334 transactions per month or 45 per day. And there's some other related details too. Then look at it, it prompts you, it says, want to mock up a sample 3-month revenue plan with goals per channel as in those different examples. I'm not gonna respond to that yet. Now, what I want you to see is with the same prompt, right? Which is act as a restaurant business owner and list ways to generate $100,000 in revenue in 3 months. I'm now on Claude. If you're not familiar with Claude, that's Claude.ai. This again is another AI tool that you can consider using to brainstorm your business ideas and ideas to enhance your business. So let's see what it says. You know, we just saw what ChatGPT suggested, right? And hopefully this will work quickly. It's interesting. So these usually work right away. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, there we go. So this is just a reminder. I'm using a free version of Claude. So this is what we receive here. It's not as in depth, and that may be because, in fact, this is the free version versus a paid version. So you see, as it says, as a restaurant owner, here are focused strategies to generate $100,000 in revenue over the next 3 months. So similar to what we saw on ChatGPT, right? It talks about implementing that prefix menu for high margin dishes, targeting $40 to $60 per person. It recommends creating a catering program for local businesses with packages starting at 500. Launch weekend brunch to maximize facility usage during traditionally slower periods. Partner with delivery platforms while maintaining direct ordering options to reduce commission fees. And start a loyalty program offering 10% back after $200 spent. Host ticketed special events, and they give you about how much per person. Sell branded merchandise and package specialty items. That was also, if you recall, on ChatGPT. And then introduce a meal subscription service for weekly family dinners. Create corporate lunch packages for nearby businesses and optimize cocktail programs for higher margins. So there were some similarities between here and ChatGPT, but there are some differences too. And so once, just like ChatGPT asked, Claude is also asking, would you like me to elaborate on any particular strategy? We won't do that now just because I want to be able to show you some other examples, but Again, I just want you to get a sense of what it looks like to brainstorm with these AI tools. This time, let's start with Claude and then we'll go back to ChatGPT. We started with the example of the restaurant. Now let's act as if we're in e-commerce because we have a number of clients who own e-commerce businesses. This time I'm going to say act as an e-commerce clothing store owner and list how to generate $80,000 in revenue. Let's see what Claude says. Okay, so look, in a matter of not even a minute, because whatever issue we were having here is no longer an issue. Grateful, and we're thankful for that. Um, in basically a minute or just under a minute, you've gotten examples of, as it says, as an e-commerce clothing store owner, here are focus strategies to generate $80,000 in revenue. First, they recommend launching a targeted social media ad campaign with clear ROI or return on investment metrics, right? So essentially it says $5 to $7 return per $1 spent. You can also consider creating a limited edition capsule collections with scarcity marketing. Implement a referral program offering 15% off for both the referrer and the new customer. Establish strategic influencer partnerships with commission-based compensation. You may bundle complementary items at a slight discount to increase average order value. Set up email marketing sequences for cart abandonment. That's a 40 to 60% recovery potential. Develop a loyalty program with tiered rewards based on based on purchase volume. Create seasonal flash sales with countdown timers to drive urgency. Optimize product listing for SEO to increase organic traffic conversion and introduce subscription boxes for basic or seasonal refreshes. But then watch this. It says to reach $80,000, I target approximately $26,600 monthly revenue with an average order value of $75. This means about 355 orders per month or roughly 12 orders daily. And it gives you some other insight. Then ask the question, would you like me to elaborate on a specific strategy? I'm not going to respond to that. Instead, because I want you to see how this works. Remember earlier, I pointed out how, as far as a good prompt is concerned, and again, this is the prompt, basically what I list here so that I can get an output from Claude related to this. Instead of just saying that we're acting as an e-commerce clothing store owner, I'm going to change this a bit and say act as an e-commerce children's clothing store owner. And let's see what differences there may be in the output. Because remember, the point that I made earlier is how when you create good prompts, essentially what you're putting into the AI model so you can get the insight or ultimately an output that you desire, there are changes, depending on what you add. And so look at the difference. As I said, now we're a children's clothing store owner. And so the changes as far as the strategies to generate the $80,000 in revenue are now create growth-friendly clothing bundles that adapt as children grow, right? Adjustable waistbands, roll-up sleeves. Develop seasonal capsule wardrobes with mix and match pieces, saving parents shopping time. Implement a hand-me-down program, giving store credit for returned outgrown items in good condition. Partner with parenting influencers and mommy bloggers for authentic product showcases. Launch a subscription box for quarterly children's wardrobe essentials based on age and size. And there's some other things, like there's a total of 10, but notice the difference just by me changing one word. And that could go for any prompt that you add in an AI tool. it can shift things and give you more insight, right? Thus being a very helpful partner as you brainstorm different aspects of your business to help generate revenue, among other things. Let's take we're going to take that same or that initial prompt that I had here, and now let's go over to Chat GPT and see what it says. So remember, I'm using the Chat GPT account that I'm using is a paid account. So let's see here what it says as we act as the e-commerce clothing store owner. So quickly, right? You got, as it shows, key numbers first. Target is 80,000 and breaks things down. They've noted the average order value of $60 and what you will need. So the suggestions are first, revenue driving tactics. First, launch limited time drops or collections, like hyper capsule collection or seasonal drop. And they say spring, a festival, or some collaboration. You can use scarcity or urgency when it comes to this. Run paid ads, and they give you some specific examples: Meta, TikTok, and Google. Retarget past visitors, launch prospecting ads using lookalike audiences of top buyers, promote bestsellers, bundles, and new drops. Then it also recommends email and text campaigns. SMS is text, right? So you can send weekly emails, and if you collect your customers or potential customers' phone numbers, then you could text them, right? And those alerts can include exclusive discounts, early access, or flash sales. Then influencer and UGC marketing. You can partner with micro influencers for reels and posts wearing your pieces. You can create an affiliate program, as in notes, or feature real customers on your socials and site. Then when it comes to sales boosting tactics, they recommend upsells and bundles. They show you buy two, get one, 50% off promos, for an example. I won't go through all of this because of our time, but then you got loyalty and referral programs, website optimization, pop-ups, or virtual events. And then it also offers structure ideas, right? And it breaks it down in terms of your projected revenue. And again, this is the total of $80,000, and they give you some notes associated with what you could do here. And then what do you see? One, help calculating projections based on your actual average order value, right? Remember that average order value, it recommended $60, conversion rate or marketing budget, or maybe a sample campaign calendar. This time, instead of doing that, I'm going to change our prompts just like we did in Claude, right? But this time I'm going to add children. So act as an e-commerce children's clothing store owner, and let's see what it says. So once again, you see there's that breakdown like we saw earlier before I added the word children's to our e-commerce clothing business. Um, this time, look at how the output is different. Revenue driving product strategies. There's seasonal collections, and it says launch collections by season or occasion: spring, summer, and back to school, Easter, right? Because we're talking about children. And you can include matching sets, sibling outfits, or mommy and me collections. It lists bundles and multi-pack offers, right? Bundle onesies, basics, or outfit sets to increase order value. Limited time drops and pre-orders. Create hype around new patterns, collaborations, and theme drops. You could get personalized products even. That may be something you might want to highlight as the e-commerce children's clothing store owner. Then marketing and growth tactics. Once again, they're offering or suggesting email and SMS marketing. Um, and then influencer and mom blogger partnerships, right? The mom blogger was not an option before, but you notice the difference with just me adding the word children's, right? It shifts things. Similarly, How many of you noticed that the run paid ads has shifted? Before it was in the first example, they had Meta, TikTok, and I think it was Google. But now it's saying because with children's Meta, Pinterest, and TikTok. As it says, target parents based on age and interest. They've got some examples like new moms, toddlers, and preschoolers. You can have a referral program, give $10, get $10 for sharing with other parents. Um, and then customer experience and upsells. The subscription or seasonal box comes up, gift cards and gift ready packaging, website optimization is an example. And then once again, you get to see that sample revenue breakdown and it gives you some notes as to how you can make those or how those recommended marketing and strategies will help you to generate the revenue you like. And then, like it says, want a sample campaign calendar or bundle pricing ideas next. We don't have the time to say that, but that's something that you could do, right? And so, again, this is how you're able to see, just notice the difference. Again, this is with ChatGPT versus Claude, and the fact that I'm using a paid version of ChatGPT, but using a free version of Claude. So keep that in mind too. Now I'm back on Claude for our last example as we're practicing with these different prompts to see what ideas we can generate and how we can brainstorm. This time I'm asking Claude to act as an education consultant and list ways to generate $100,000 in revenue in 3 months. Let's see what it says. So quickly, right? Brainstorming, and certainly there's still value I would suggest, and I certainly still speak to clients who use ChatGPT and other AI tools to help enhance their businesses, but there's still great value in talking to other humans, right? Remember that too, once you get some of this insight, because there's power, and remember the human in the loop approach. So let's see what Claude is suggesting is, as an education consultant, here are focused strategies to generate $100,000 in revenue over the next 3 months. First, develop a premium college application packages at $2,500 to $5,000 per student. It says create a high intensity SAT or ACT prep program with guaranteed score improvements. Offer school district consulting services on curriculum development or teacher training, and it shows you at what rate you might want to charge. Launch specialized workshops for school transitioning to new educational technologies. Create a membership program for ongoing academic coaching. Develop corporate training programs for educational institutions and look at how much you could charge for that. Offer educational assessment services for private schools. And there's some other examples. But ultimately, like it says, I would initially focus on leveraging existing relationship with schools and families while simultaneously building a referral network with school counselors and administrators. Would you like me to elaborate on any specific strategy? You probably get a sense of how I am showing you differences and how you can brainstorm, and in particular, updating these prompts. This time, we started by saying just act as an education consultant. I'm now going to say act as an elementary uh, school education consultant and see what differences there are in the response. Okay, so I'm just gonna I highlight a few things and hopefully you notice the difference too. Look, so develop district-wide reading intervention programs. That wasn't noted before, right? One of the first things you may recall, Claude suggested that you develop premium college application packages. But by saying, no, I specifically am an education consultant for elementary schools, right? Or want to at least tap into that particular market. look at how the output was different, right? It's suggesting that you offer teacher professional development workshops on differentiated instruction, launch parent workshops on supporting early literacy at home and at different rates, right? And then even create STEM integration programs for elementary classrooms, and it notes how much you could charge for that. So it's just worth noting again, one word shifts things. One word in your prompt, excuse me, can shift the output that you get. And so you want to you get to explore that, right? With when you're brainstorming for your business. Let's try it now on ChatGPT. So I want to start the same, right? Act as an education consultant and list ways to generate $100,000 in revenue in 3 months. Let's see what ChatGPT says. So once again, you notice that, and it could be a matter of, again, this is a paid account versus the free account. And yet there are more, as you can see, there's more, it seems more list, right? And some, um, instead of just straight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like we saw in Claude, they break this down a little differently, right? Just that's something to note, I should say. So ChatGPT is suggesting that ultimately you have high value services to offer, one-on-one counseling services, and they give examples: the academic coaching, college admissions or scholarship consulting, curriculum design support for schools and educators. And they even give you a revenue tip, right? To package into 4 to 6 session bundles at $1,000 or more. It suggests having group programs or cohorts and what that looks like at what rate. Then there are workshops and webinars it's suggesting, online course sales, retainer contracts with schools, and how much you could charge for that, right? Marketing and lead generation strategies include email list and content marketing, right? You could launch a lead magnet by creating a free PDF about top 10 college essay mistakes to grow your email list. Partner with educational influencers, social proof and testimonials, asking for those success stories from your clients, and it's saying in particular before and after results and quotes from families or schools. And then it breaks down that revenue strategy in a table, right? And what that total is. They actually have a little more. And so then it says, want a sample 3 months campaign plan or offer stack tailored to your niche. And it says college prep. So instead of doing that again, I want us to see the difference in what we did exactly in Claude and doing the same here in ChatGPT. Now I'm going to say act as an elementary school education consultant, right? That was our change in Claude. Let's see what happens here. So once again, it breaks down your offers, right? Giving you some examples of what that looks like. A tiered offer structure is the best way to combine multiple income streams and reach your goal. And what they have first, professional development for teachers and what that could include. There's that differentiated instruction, classroom management, literacy strategies, SEL or social emotional learning. These are things that wouldn't necessarily be covered under what I noted at first, which was just a general education consultant, right? We're honing in on what elementary school needs. And then curriculum consulting for schools, they break things down here. Um, Parent coaching programs and at what rate, right? It shows you the price point, digital products and courses, speaking engagements even, and some keynotes and how much you could charge for that, tutoring or academic enrichment groups, and then school partnerships. Then it lists some marketing tips such as email marketing, Facebook groups. If the education consultant wants to create a Facebook group, that would be a good way to engage with teachers and parent communities. Maybe LinkedIn to connect with school leaders and principals, and some referral incentives. And then it gives you an example of that revenue plan. Um, and then it asks you if you want more. So I know I wanted to go over those three examples. I hope it has shown you given you a good sense of what it looks like to use both ChatGPT and Claude to help you brainstorm some of your business strategies. Let me return to where we were. Um, so after you've brainstormed and ultimately, as it showed you some real strategies, right? You should, as I've noted here, after reviewing your ideas to improve your business with an AI tool, right? That's the examples we focus on today were ChatGPT and Claude. Use the human in the loop approach to determine strategies that truly align with your business values and brand because really consider your business model too. Some of the examples of potential ways that you can in the examples I gave today generate more revenue may not fit your business model, and that's where it's important for you to again keep that human in the loop approach, right? That's where you as the human use your brilliance, your intelligence to verify what those AI outputs are suggesting. Everything isn't a good fit. And that's also why it's great to talk to a business advisor like one of our advisors here at the SBDC or someone else in your trusted business circle about some of the things that you've learned from an AI tool and in other sources, just like you would if you were reading a book that or reading something on your own that you found on as a different internet search, right? Versus using an AI tool. So hopefully you received before the training started, you received a reminder and there was a helpful checklist. That's the Business at the Speed of AI checklist because it features many ways that you can use AI tools to increase the speed and the efficiency of your business. I've highlighted here the examples of what we did today really address things such as it can address customer insights, right? As you tweak that prompt and then sales forecasting, right? Some of those, we certainly saw that as we were brainstorming, right? How you could predict future sales based on some of those potential ways that you're going to promote your business and increase the revenue. And then business reporting is something else that you could factor in when using AI tools. So this is for those of you that attended the first part of this series, Business at the Speed of AI. You also got this checklist, but the reason why I sent it today and I'll share it in the last part of the series next month is so you can reference different parts of the checklist that are highlighted in each of these trainings. Before I make this final call about advising sessions, I don't see any questions in the Q&A section. Before we go, please type in the Q&A section if you have questions. If not, I'm going to just to remind you that you will receive the recording of today's training and a survey. There's also space on that survey to share other recommendations for future training. We like to provide training that is helpful to clients. And if you're not already a client, you can sign up to become one via email. You can visit the website there or call us, but ultimately to become a client, you will have to do that online. You could even do that in the same space where you register for on the same platform rather, where you signed up for today's training. I thank you so much for your time and attention. Here's to great success and great brainstorming, right? As you do business at the speed of AI. Continue to have a great day and week, everyone. Thank you.